So hello everyone, I welcome you all to the Concept YouTube channel. So today's topics are labor laws, Article 356. The question can be framed under GS paper 2, Brexit deal, a very important topic. The question can be framed under international relations, GS paper 2, PM Kisan Yojana, and DTH, revised DTH scheme approved by cabinet. So this is again a very important topic. Question can be framed under topic science and technology, also under economy section. Few small topics are there, and in the end I will give you the main question. So this session is presented by me. My name is Saurabh Pandey. If you are preparing for IAS exam, you can join Unacademy. Many of batch courses have been launched, this batch course, which is ultimate GS 6-month batch course for prelims 2020. Similarly, there is a batch course for UPSC CSE civil service exam 2022. It is also bilingual. There are other batch courses which are in Hindi and English medium as well. You can use the code SPLive and you can join these courses. In addition to these courses, you will be able to access courses by 80 plus top educators. You can also take the subscription of optional, like this agriculture optional is starting from January 5. The class will start from January 5 at 9:30 p.m. So by the end of February, your paper 2 will be completed, then paper 1 will be launched. So if you are preparing for 2022 or 2023, then you can complete your optional. Also, it will open an opportunity for Indian Forest Service exam as well. Use the code SPLive and then you can join. To download the PDF of this session, you can visit SP Current Affair Telegram channel and post your answer, which is again given in the end. You can post your answer in Telegram channel Daily Dose with Saurabh Pandey. You can follow me in this in Unacademy platform, unacademy.com/@SPLab. So let's discuss the first topic. This is again a very important topic. Why we are discussing this topic? Because on December 12th, contract workers, they ransacked Wistron iPhone assembly factory in Karnataka, Kolar district, near to Bangalore. And the basic reason for the violence which has been highlighted is that the labor laws, they were not properly implemented. There were cases like non-payment or only partial payment of wages, or delay or flouting of labor laws. So all these development has resulted into violence. Central and state government, they have condemned the violence, and they are trying to they are actually busy in controlling the damage the incidents has caused. The first point they need to consider is that such incidents should not impact investment climate in India. Company may think or might think that such type of incidents may spread in India, and the company profitability may be impacted. So this can add we can say this can add kind of restrain in their effort to put investment in India. So this is one of the reason that Indian government, both we can say central government and state government, they are trying to control the situation. Even Wistron project, it has showcased the government success, because this Wistron project highlights the opportunity that India can offer as an alternative area where the companies can come, they can establish their projects, they can carry out greenfield and brownfield investment in India, and which can take us towards what we call it as self-reliant. So proper and we can say proper investment climate need to be maintained. Without this, if there is no proper investment climate, then it can actually add hurdles in attracting investment in India. So this is the biggest challenges. Presently, there is a great opportunity for India as well, because of the prevailing anti-China sentiment. Many of the companies from Europe and USA, they are searching for an alternative option. India can be an alternative option, but India need to implement these labor laws properly, so that better employee and employer relation is maintained. At the same point of time, the investment climate in India is not affected by such type of incidents. So this is again a challenging task, not only for the central government but also for the state government, because under competitive federalism, many of these many of the states, they are trying to change the labor laws. They are trying to make these labor laws flexible so that they can attract more investment in their states and they can generate employment opportunity. But this approach should not affect the implementation of labor laws or the rights of the laborers, which is again very important, because India is a signatory of International Labour Organization convention related with labor. In India, if you talk about the labor laws, then you have indeed a cumbersome web. Some 47 central laws. We have around 47 central laws and 200 state laws. In 2019, government consolidated these 29 central laws into four labor codes, and introduced bills in the parliament. There are the codes that are there. One is related with industrial relations. Other is with the occupational safety. Next is related with health and working condition. Working conditions. This is the other area. Social security and wages. So these are different categories of labor codes introduced by India. So the code on wages bill 29 was passed last year, and the remaining 3 in September this year. So again, there is a great challenge in front of the state government also, Karnataka government also, that they restore the climate or the working conditions which is there in the company. So let's discuss the second topic. This is again a very important topic, and in this topic we will discuss about the revised DTH scheme approved by the cabinet. Revised scheme for direct to home television distribution sector. So when you talk about these DTH services, direct to home television sector, they are facing a lot of challenges by emergence of many of these OTT platforms. So in order to sustain themselves, they need investment related with technology. They need that many of these technologies related with these platforms, which can help them to compete with these OTT platforms. So they require such technologies. In order to achieve these technologies, they need investment. They need investment from companies which may be outside the country. So it is again a very challenging task for these DTH related company, that in order to sustain themselves, they have to bring changes in policy guidelines which govern these DTH sector. So India is one of the largest, we can say India is one of the biggest single market for audience. Around 200 million cable and satellite households are there. Under this revised scheme, which is again approved by the cabinet, the first point that you need to remember, that the license will be awarded for 20 years. Earlier it was 10 years. Second is related with the license fee. So the government has also revised the license fee from 10% of gross revenue. It was earlier 10% of the gross revenue. Now it has reduced to 8% of adjusted gross revenue, which will be again calculated after deduction of GST. So 8% of the 8% of the adjusted gross revenue. Earlier, suppose they are earning 100 rupees and they have to pay 18 rupees at GST. So the amount that they need to pay was around means it was calculated of 10% of the gross revenue. So they were supposed to pay 10%. Now suppose if they are earning 100 rupees and they have to pay 18% GST, so it will be deducted. So out of 82%, they have to 82 rupees they will have to pay as a fee. So this change has been made. Next point that you need to remember is that now all these fees will be calculated on quarterly basis instead of annual payment. Also, one-time non-refundable registration fees of rupees 10,000 per platform service channel will be charged. 10,000 per platform service will be charged. The guidelines have also provision for sharing of infrastructure between DTH operators. So even the DTH operators, they can share the platform infrastructure. Even the common they can also be permitted to share the common hardware for their subscriber management system and conditional access system applications. So the approval made by the union government for this revised scheme for direct to home DTH television distribution sector, beginning with 100% FDI, it will again help the industry to regain its position, and it will be able to compete with these coming OTT platforms. So all these points you need to consider. Next topic, let's see. This is a very important topic. Limits of sovereignty, again a very important, because Britain and European Union, they have come up with an we can say a temporary agreement which will guide the kind of trade relation that will exist between Britain and European Union. Now the basic point that we need to consider is that after the exit of Britain from European Union, it is again very important that what kind of relationship will Britain have with European Union, because they have financial relationship, economic relationship, political relationship, different kind of relationship they have, including like what kind of trade agreement, defense, security, immigration, what kind of policy they will follow. Earlier it was a different scenario because Britain was part of European Union. Now Britain is not part of European Union. So what kind of policy they need to follow related with trade agreement or defense or security or immigration, all these points need to be considered by Britain and European Union. So Brexit carried out on January 31st 2020, and before December 31st 2020 they need to come up with a deal which will actually define the relationship between Britain and European Union. Considering this, just a week before the deadline, Britain and European Union, they struck a free trade deal that should actually avoid the economic chaos which can cause during the new year, so that there is a defined guidelines for the trade agreements, or we can say the trade relationship, or other points like immigration or defense or certain things. So basically presently only the trade related things have been decided. Rest issues are there, for example, which is again we can say unable to agree on these major points, and these major points like fishing rights, governance, guaranteeing level playing fields, these points, or we can say level playing fields on government subsidies and regulations. These were the major points on which neither Britain nor European Union they were agreeing on. The basic point is related with the fishing right. Fishing right is the major point. Take the example of English Channel. In case of English Channel, earlier when Britain was part of European Union, boats from European Union or Britain, they were allowed to move across English Channel. But once Britain is out of European Union, then United Nations Convention Law of the Sea will applied, and as per which Britain will have or European Union will have their jurisdiction up to 12 nautical miles. Beyond this, there will be again a jurisdictional issue even in this case they have decided, presently they have decided that for time being what they will do is, what they will allow is that for the EU access for boat is an important precondition for the trade agreement, but presently they have allowed certain flexibility for time being. But many of the MPs, or we can say the member of parliament in Britain, they thought that if European Union or the boats from the countries of European Union, they are coming into the places which are part of Britain territorial water, then it can impact the sovereignty of Britain. So such consent is not as per the needs of Britain. Britain is somehow again inclining itself towards the policy which take into consideration only the interest of European Union. Britain policymakers are not considering the interest of Britain overall, if we talk about. So all these points are again very important, and presently the kind of temporary arrangement which has been made will actually define the trade between Britain and European Union after maybe after 1 week, after 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, there will be new provisions in these agreements. Now after this agreement, it is again a bigger challenge to get this agreement ratified by the Britain Parliament and also by the Parliament in European Union. Next is related with Article 356. Article 356 you must have read in Lakshmikant or Polity in Journal. So there are many political arguments in this article, but the issue is again very important. It is under GS paper 2. Why we are discussing it? Because recently Andhra Pradesh High Court directed the Andhra Pradesh government to come prepared to argue on the breakdown constitutional machinery in the state, which again fall under Article 356. Now to decide or the decision related with the breakdown of constitutional machinery is taken by the Honorable President. The decision has to be taken by the Honorable President based on the report of the Governor of the state. Either Honorable President can take it suo moto if the President consider that there is a constitutional failure in the state, or based on the report of the Governor, Honorable President can take the decision. This is the basic fact related with Article 356. But in this case, if Andhra Pradesh High Court is trying to direct the Andhra Pradesh government to come prepared to argue on breakdown constitutional machinery in the state, somehow it is a classic case of judicial overreach. It is a classic case of judicial overreach. Somehow we can say judiciary is trying to enter in the domain of executive, which is again against the principle of separation of power. Next point that you have to understand, that in India and Pakistan, both India and Pakistan, they have borrowed this provision breakdown of constitutional machinery, which again result into a president rule as per Article 356. India and Pakistan, they both have borrowed this provision from Government of India Act 1935. Article 356 has been misused around 125 times. Next is related with the PM Kisan Nidhi scheme. So you need to remember few points related with Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi or PM Kisan Yojana. Under this scheme, farmer who own not more than 2 hectares of cultivable land, 2 hectares of cultivable land are entitled to yearly grant of rupees 6,000. Again the amounts shall be paid to the farmer by way of direct bank transfer, like in 3 installment it will be paid. Let's see the question is, no deal Brexit could have far-reaching ramification both domestically and internationally. So you have to write it in the context of Britain. So you have to write it within 150 words. You can send your answer to Telegram channel Daily Dose with S.Pandey. I hope this session is helpful. I request you all do like the session and don't forget to subscribe. the channel. Thank you everyone. Thank you.